So we're off on another big adventure. Picked up a Commodore PET recently. That was about an 8 or 9 hour round trip. Today we're heading off down to Cornwall for probably about a 7-hour round trip. This one's a little bit more sketchy. I put a bid in on a garage find of old Apple Macs. They look in pretty poor condition. I think there's 3 Macs and 2 monitors. Got them for a good price, but I hate to think what condition they're in. The chances are the batteries are still in there, so I suspect that motherboards will be ruined. And I've just discovered they've been kept in a shed on a seafront, so I suspect the salt air's got in there and completely ruined them anyway, even if the batteries haven't. So I think this may be a slightly wasted journey, but I was the winner, so I thought I'd go down and pick them up and see what the story is. Hopefully it's good news, but it may well be bad. But yeah, it's picked them up. There was more of them than was in the original photos on the eBay page, so that's good. A little bit of a bonus, and the range is quite good. So there's a Macintosh 2SI, there's a Quadra 700, so as well as a couple of LCE 475s. So there's a nice selection in there, but a lot of the connectors are corroded on the outside. I hate to think what's happening on the inside. They've definitely been exposed to some salty air, unfortunately, so they just may not be recoverable, but we'll have a go and see what we can do with them. The guy also threw in there was an old PC desktop mini tower. Not sure what's in there, but again it's a little bit corroded on the outside. A couple of Mac monitors with very corroded connectors, a compact CRT, probably 15-inch I think, and just a couple of keyboards, bundles and bundles of wire. I think there's some Apple Talk cables in there maybe as well, which is interesting because I don't have any of those. So interesting haul. Some of it may be usable, some of it may have to go in the bin. We'll just have to wait and see till we get them home. Okay, so this is the first item from the massive haul we just picked up from Cornwall. I say massive, it's not super huge, but it was advertised as 3 Macs and 2 monitors. I've ended up coming back with 5 computers and 3 monitors and a load of accessories. And first up is this accessory box. I'm not familiar with one of these really. Macintosh Essentials. Everything you need to set up your Macintosh computer. Primus, is that a model? I don't think it is. I think that's maybe a code word or maybe the customer. But as you can see, it's in pretty poor condition. Fly poo all over it. And as I said, this has all come from a shed by the seafront, so I'm guessing everything's going to be slightly damaged. So let's have a look. Okay, so not quite what I was expecting. There was a spider over there. So what's this? CD, AV3 Media Visuals promo. That looks like it might be a CDR, somebody's promo video. Interesting, might play that later. Read this first, okay. Getting started with your Macintosh LC475. Okay, so there's definitely one of those in the pile. This would appear to be the correct booklet for that. I will read that at some point, but probably not first. What did you get with your LC475? So you got a pizza box computer, a monitor. I think I've got that. I think that was one of the things that came with it. It's a small Apple monitor, power cord, ADB keyboard, ADB cable, ADB mouse. Okay, fairly straightforward stuff. That is all in the pile. Looks actually surprisingly okay. In fact, even the staples aren't rusty, so that may be good news for everything else. Discover the world of multimedia. Okay, compact disc and stereo sound for your Macintosh. Now, this is like an advert for accessories, but there is one of these, a CD player, in the pile of stuff. So I think it is an Apple CD 300, and I think it's the cartridge version, not a tray version. So that'd be interesting to have a look at, see if that's working. Getting started with your LC2. Now I don't think there's an LC2 in the pile of stuff I've picked up, but good to have. Ooh, this looks a bit more meaty, doesn't it? What's this? Cobweb and a spider. So, how to install System 7 in some kind of folder arrangement or floppy disks. Is it going to come out, or is it welded in? Oh no, it's going to come out. How to install System 7. So I'm guessing one or more of these comes with System 7 or was upgraded to System 7. Follow the instructions in this booklet. A Macintosh computer, you need a Macintosh computer with a hard disk drive, a floppy drive, and at least 2 megabytes of RAM. The floppy disk included in your upgrade kit. So this is obviously some kind of upgrade to an existing system. It's quite possible some of these systems are shipped with System 6, them being 68,000 processor units. So in here we have, I keep thinking this is hand drawn, but I think it is the System 7 icon. System 7. Don't know if you can, how well you can see that, but through here it looks hand drawn. So that comes in there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 12 floppies. 720, 720 if they would be PC. These are probably 800K discs. They all seem to be here. Interesting. Might have to play with those later. It's very likely that some of the units haven't got CD drives. I suspect that external CD drive we have in the pile is not going to work. It's exciting though, isn't it? And all this stuff. I wasn't expecting this as it wasn't in the eBay advert. Try not to crease it now. Alright, nice. I'm ignoring that side for now. We'll come to that. So, still sealed in its poly bag. Apple computer warranty. Well, we obviously never needed to use that. Still sealed. Probably never read it. Well, definitely didn't read it. Packing list. So this tells us what should be in this box, I think. The computer, the mouse, power cord, the manuals, which doesn't look like it here, and some discs. Legal documentation. So this is from a time when you bought an Apple Macintosh, you got a mouse because it had a GUI, but you didn't get a keyboard. You had to buy your keyboard separately for an extra, whatever, £120, whatever they were at the time. Warranty registration. And this, ladies and gentlemen, is a multi-part form. Wow, you don't see those anymore, do you? So right on there with your ballpoint pen, goes through to all the different layers, and then they're color coded. So it should say on there somewhere which color goes to which person. So it looks like it had to be filled out of the dealer because it's got a dealer section. Don't see that anymore. What is this? Technical information. Ah, okay. So this is for the. I thought it was for the monitor because over here it talks about the 12-inch RGB display, but it talks over here about the system itself. So this is a system spec sheet for a specific computer with the optional monitors in the list there. It doesn't say which Macintosh it is, but it's a 6840 at 25 megahertz with 4 megs of RAM. So that's probably the LC475, I think, from memory. Cool. User's Guide, update for System 7, version 7.1. So, this is a little addendum by the looks of it, showing you some little changes between 7 and 7.1. I've never used 7 or 7.1 actually. I came to Macs in the OS X era. I briefly had a beige G3 Tower, which I got rid of. I bought it just on a whim because it was cheap, and I thought, oh, I've never used a Mac, I'll buy one of those. And that did have OS 9 on it and an early version of OS 10. Should have kept that, but I got rid of it. But don't think I've ever used System 7, so that's interesting. Aha, stickers, and the coloured version, not the monochrome white that you get these days. That's cool. I doubt very much whether that's still sticky, but nothing but a Pritt stick wouldn't help with if you needed to stick that to something. Nice. So that side's empty. This has all been in pretty good condition considering what some of the connectors look like on the computers. Okay, so I don't think this is supposed to be in here, judging by the label. So what we've got here is Microsoft Works, discs 5, 6, disc 7. I'm guessing this is the remainder of them. Discs 4. Okay, so that's half of a Microsoft Word installation. Now, I'm pretty sure they didn't make Works for OS X or Classic OS, did they? So I'm guessing those are for a PC. That was only half of them there. It's quite entertaining. But this does look more Apple-ish. Macintosh LC475, install me first. So this must be the original install discs that came. Doesn't, I may have just opened that for the first time. Let's have a look. So what have we got? We've got install me first. Doesn't say why. Install 2. So does install 2 come after install me first, or does it install 1 in between those two? Fonts, tidbits. Okay. Disk tools. Seems logical. Printing. I suppose that's printer drivers, and a whole disk for QuickTime. So these are the high density disks with 2 notches in. So they must be. So the LC45 must have a super drive, unless I'm overthinking that. Cool. So let's put everything back in here for now, just as we found it. It's weird that there's that in there, and it's even weirder that there's only half of it, but that's okay. I'm liking these, that's nice. So let's put it all out of the way. There's no kind of user manual. There's a user guide, which is, you know, how many pages? 13, 14 pages, 13, unlucky for some, pages of very light paper. I suppose Macs are so intuitive, you don't need one maybe. There's a getting started guide, which is a bit thicker, but that's for the LC2. That's the 475. So I think there's 2 475s in the pile. When I picked them up, they both rattled. I'm guessing the batteries have exploded and spread stuff all over the interior, but we're just going to have a look. And I'd say that looks like somebody's demo roll, maybe. Cool. So this was what was on top of the pile when I got there. This wasn't in the advert. As you can see, it's a white iBook. Don't know what CPU it is yet. It's very dirty. He did say it wasn't working. He said that there'd been a water spill on it at some point in the past, and it was non-functional. But I'll have a look. So I don't know what spec this is, what CPU it is, whether it's still got hard drive in, etc. It's got the screws in, although they are quite rusty. I don't know how well you can see that. Probably a better light. And that's done something really weird, look. The sea air has made that explode, which is interesting. Oh, there's two missing screws there, so somebody probably has opened this up to confirm it's dead. It's still got a battery. The case doesn't look too bad, although you can't really tell because it's covered in so much mess. Let's see if we can get some of that off. So using the usual retro PC go-to for cleaning plastics, which is a window cleaner. When it's dirty like this, you don't want to dry clean it because it will scratch the plastic, so you do need some lubrication. We could have hoovered it. That's the other thing I sometimes do when they're this bad, but there we go. It's looking quite a lot better already. So I have already got one of these, and I think mine is more scratched than this one, so even if it's non-functional I might swap the cases over. Let's clean it some more. What I tend to do is spray clean it onto the cloth and then use the cloth to wipe, rather than spraying directly onto the plastic, because if the moisture gets inside, that can potentially be a problem. Although it's not a lot of volume, and you can usually get it out. We're probably going to be disassembling this pretty soon anyway, so even if a little bit of water does get inside, we can mop it up pretty quickly. Yeah, it's surprisingly okay. I think the one I've got's got a bit of corrosion on the catch. This one seems in pretty good condition, apart from that one screw. Ports look okay. Surprisingly not rusted. So the bottom's got some tape on it. I'm not sure if that's was holding something onto this or whether that's was just nearby and it got stuck on it accidentally. You can see the two screws here have been taken out. I'm going to press the battery button, but I'm not expecting anything to light up. So I get the impression this stuff has been in this shed for some considerable time. If this was in the pile, then that's early 2000s, roughly. Maybe a little bit later. Can't remember exactly when these white books were around. Oh, I don't even know what CPU it is yet either, so interesting to get it open. So this has got, I've seen this before with a lot of Macs from this era, and that is the rubber feet are missing. And not only are they missing, they're pretty much impossible to replace. Actually, these ones aren't too bad. I think you can get replacements for these. I've got a aluminium iBook, and you have to, if you can get the parts, which you can't, you have to take the motherboard out and assemble the feet from both sides of the lower casing. Apple's official replacements were actually just glue-on ones, so Even Apple didn't expect you to take your lovely aluminium MacBook Pro apart to put some new feet on it. It gave you a pack of 4 feet and a tub of glue. Okay, so that's not perfect. I'll get some isopropyl alcohol on that in a bit, but I'm keen to get it open. See what's actually on the other side of the case. Okay, but that is much better. Ooh, discs sound a bit gritty, that's not nice. I always get these the wrong way around. So yeah, catch works popped up. So it says iBook on it. It doesn't specify the processor. So does that make it a G4 or 4? G4 maybe. I'll have to check. To go back to where I expect everybody goes. everymac.com to check the specs once we've had a look at the model number. In fact, let's do that. So this is model number A1005. I should have the right power connector for that. Okay, so totally stupid, but let's turn it on. No, nothing happens. No keys are missing. The keyboard stay on this side isn't tucked under, so I think somebody has had this apart. That's probably taken the hard drive out. And if it has been water damaged, they may have just taken it apart just to see how bad it was. But I'll just give it another superficial wipe and I'll put it in the pile and we'll look at something else. These little spots where the flies have pooed on it. It's got a name, I can't remember what it's called, but it's fly poo. It's fly poo, whether it's got its official name or not. I'm thinking I might wear gloves for the rest of the stuff. Okay, well that's looking quite a lot better already. Touchpad feels flat. Button seems to work okay. It's a shame we didn't get to this pile a little bit sooner, a couple of years ago, before the CA got to it. Just have to see what happens with the rest of the stuff as we open it up. But as I was unloading it from the car, it was all the beige cases had rattles inside them, and I'm guessing the person putting them away wasn't aware about replacing the batteries. So I'm guessing there's going to be battery explosions, bits of battery everywhere, battery holder everywhere, and completely trashed motherboards, which will be a shame. There we go. So I don't think I'm going to get some horrible disease off this now. It still needs cleaning properly. Should we get the power supply for this and try it out? What's the worst that can happen? So, I have the correct power supply here. I think there's a 90% or a 99% chance that nothing's going to happen. Charging lights come on, so that's reassuring, I suppose. Let's give it a few seconds to get a small amount of charge in the battery before turning it on. So, nothing's happened. So no chime, no screen, no fans starting. And that's what I was expecting. Not a surprise. But be interested to see if that battery takes a charge. And as I said, the plastics on this I think are slightly better than on the one that I have. So if it's the same processor series, I might swap the cases over. So it's still glowing orange, so I think it should grow, from memory it should glow green, shouldn't it? When the laptop's taking a charge. Nope. Seems to be dead. Let's just do 10 seconds. Nope, there's a dodo. Should we just take that keyboard off while we're here? I can't remember which way around it's supposed to be for release. This way, I think, yes. Okay, so there we have it. It's quite a lot of apparent damage from water. Someone's taken out the airport card. So yeah, it looks like it is water damage. There's residue on the bottom of the keyboard as well. So it looks like someone's had a spill. We've got specs here though, so it's 700 megahertz, 128 megs of RAM, 20 gig hard drive and a CD. So this must be not a G4 version. Don't think there's any indicator lights under here that are useful. So I don't think that's going to tell us anything. Shame, but there you go. It was free, essentially, and it may still be useful for parts. There you go. Lovely. Okay, so what do we have here? Here we have a Macintosh 2 SI. As you can see, it's very dirty, more fly poo. Very dirty indeed. A little bit of rust visible here on the floppy drive. I did vacuum the top just because it was getting everywhere. Very dirty on the back. Dead bugs, spider web. Bit of corrosion on the display housing, but the rest actually surprisingly okay. So that's interesting. It's got quite a big gouge out of the case just here, which is interesting. And I don't know if you heard it, but there was a definite movement of something inside. There you go. So I'm guessing the battery has exploded, which is a bit of a shame. The other possibility is it's very slightly lighter than I was expecting. Maybe the hard drive's been removed and that's just a cable flopping around. What's the chances? Alright, let's get open and have a look. So just lift up these tabs at the back, I think. It's my first time getting one of these. And these are notoriously Fragile, aren't they? There you go. Okay. So is it going to tilt up and then wiggle off? Yep. Oh my word. Yeah, okay. That's pretty much what we expected, which is a shame. One very dead battery. But unfortunately it hasn't just died, it's killed everything with it. So the side of the power supply here is very rusted. Directly underneath where the battery was is pretty much dead. I think they're a type of voltage regulator. They're obviously toast. This chip's toast, this chip's toast. It's got some RAM in it, which appears to be okay. That's video RAM, isn't it? Processor direct slot. Fan. So the sides here of the hard drive and the floppy brackets are rusted, but I can't see any rust on the actual hard drive itself apart from that one screw there. And what have we got here? So it's an Apple branded hard drive. It's a Quantum ProDrive LPS, and it's probably an 80 gig judging by this label, and it looks like it was made in 1990. There's a good chance that's not going to work, isn't there? But I don't know until we turn it on. Are we going to turn it on when a power supply looks this bad though? It's a bit risky. Might have to do that outside. Okay, well that is a shame. But the old PRAM battery strikes again. And I'm guessing all the others are the same. There was quite a lot of rattling going on with them, which is a shame. And you can see here the front of the floppy drive is quite corroded as well. So I'm guessing it's not going to be in the best of shape, if it works at all. So what are we going to do? Probably strip it down for spares. Getting another motherboard is going to be tricky because they all suffer the same fate unless they're really well looked after. That's a shame. I think this is a story that's going to repeat multiple times over the course of these next few machines. Not quite sure the best way of getting this on. There we go. Oh well. Macintosh 2 SI. I'm afraid you're dead. So what have we got here next to the pile? This one I haven't cleaned or hoovered. Got a very attractive stain down the top. That could be a leaking PRAM battery for another one. Someone has used the Apple sticker on this. LC475, so this is not the one that came with that packet, but we saw just now. And again, I don't know if you heard that. There's bits rolling around inside, which means the PRAM battery has probably exploded as well on this one, but we won't. Oh look, just what's falling out the side. Probably the slide of a battery holder, I'm guessing. Who knows? We'll find out when we open it, so let's do that now. So again, same way, opens from the back. Let's see if we can do it without breaking these off. Twice lucky. What are we going to find? Okay, so that's not quite what I was expecting. So this is the opposite of the one we just looked at. So, starting at the front, we've got a floppy drive that isn't rusty, missing hard drive, PRAM battery that hasn't leaked or exploded. We've got some RAM, some VRAM, I think it's that way around. You've got your processor with some dirt on it, but this time it's the chassis that's rusted, succumbed to the sea air. That is really bad. So what is that? That's the microphone and speaker connectors on the back are totally rusted through. The display is very much on the way out as well. I suppose the ADB might be working, serial ports might be working. It's this external SCSI actually, isn't it, that's gone particularly bad. Display is on the way out. So this one, I think, I can't believe that's just from air randomly hitting it. I think this one actually had a leak in the roof maybe nearby and got splashed, because that is quite localized, that back left corner. So that's a bit of a shame. So I wonder what the other LC45 is going to look like. The power supply looks fine, the floppy drive looks fine, the fan's fine, and the front part of the motherboard is fine. If the display connector works, oh, there's a moth. If the display connector works, it could be usable, but I'm not holding my hopes out. And let's just get rid of this bloody PRAM battery before any more disasters happen. So, can we... April 97. So this has done quite well to not blow up or leak all over the place, unlike this one. So they're different brands, aren't they? So this is it's 97. That's probably still the original battery. This one, I don't think we're going to get a date code off that. Be interesting if it's a similar age. Okay, so let me try and get... Oh yeah, I didn't show you the inside of the case as well. That gets... oh look, chassis is actually missing from there back. So that's had some serious salt damage, unfortunately. Do you reckon that's what that is? Do you reckon it's just dripped onto there once, dribbled down onto the back and just destroyed it in one go? That's horrendous, isn't it? That's what salt air does to you. Okay, let's put it away and get rid of all this metal that's now on my desk. Or what used to be metal anyway. So if any of you live near the coast, please, please, please don't put your old computers in sheds. Keep them indoors, keep them lovely and dry, so that future generations can have a play. Okay, this is the next LC475. Again, it's covered in cobwebs and it's rattling. This one's got a similar mark. Something's dripped onto it. I'm guessing we're going to find a similar. Maybe, perhaps not as bad if we're lucky. Haven't been looking at the bottoms, have we? The bottoms look in good condition. So, okay, let's crack another one open, see if we can get it open without breaking it. See what that's done. Okay, so, wow, again we've been lucky, look. PRAM battery is still present, but intact. Let's get that out of there. I can see a big problem straight away with this one. It's looking overall in better condition, but have a look here. That whatever it is that's dripped in there is dripped right on the RAM. And I'm guessing the RAM is toast, and probably so are the sockets, which means this motherboard also probably going to be unretrievable. But, let's find out. This one's being a little bit more problematic. So this one's 99, so this must be a slightly later revision, maybe, of the motherboard. What we do have this time though is a hard drive, Apple branded, must be the original, well, likely the original. Quantum Pro Drive ELS, 160 megabyte SCSI. So a SCSI drive is now 2023, and this was probably made in 99. So that makes that SCSI drive 24 years old. What's the chances of it actually spinning up? Who knows, but low, I would say. This one's got more rust on the chassis, but not so much on the components. Floppy drive looks fine. So I didn't notice on the other one actually, but at this point Apple's moved to not self-ejecting drives. It looks like a button needs to be pressed. Let's get the drive out. Speaker looks fine, fan looks fine. So again, we've got the processor direct slot, CPU, video RAM, I think, onboard RAM, additional RAM. So I suppose if the onboard RAM's working, oh no, hang on. We'll look in this corner under this cable. Don't know how well you can see that, but just down here, it's the motherboard's toast. I'm guessing that's going to affect some of the traces that are going to be useful for the RAM. So I suspect this one is toast, because this motherboard in the other case would probably have been a workable solution. Okay, so no good news so far. 4 checked, 4 very likely failed, which is a bit of a shame, but it is the way of vintage computing that things don't last. So we'll see what the next one brings. Okay, so here we have the next one. I forgot to tidy up the desk, but again you can see it's very dirty. Cobwebs on the sides. So there's no drip marks on this one. And judging by the clean area here, maybe that something was on top of this one that protected it a little bit. Doesn't rattle either. Are we going to get lucky? I don't know. Seems unlikely. I'm not even sure what this is. This is an LC630. I don't really know much about this machine. Not really familiar with it. It's a bit different from what the other LCs I've seen. It's still kind of like a pizza box, but it's a bit thicker. It's a bit more traditional desktop. It's got a CD-ROM and floppy. It's got a window here, which I'm assuming is infrared, and it's got volume controls and a headphone on the front. So it's a bit more AV savvy, which is interesting. Let's have a look at the back. Cobwebs. So, what have we got? ADB, a couple of serial ports, SCSI port, which is a bit rusty, unfortunately, and then headphone and mic. Two blanking plates here. I don't know what that would be for. Some kind of add-in. Same here, and then there's a proper expansion port here next to the video out. Is that a quick release? It is. Oh dear. Okay, so although it looks quite good on the outside, I'm guessing when we open this up, it's not going to be very nice on the inside. Damn you, salty water. Okay, the other thing is I don't know how to get into this one. So, looks like the case is separate here from this back portion. The front's also coming away a little bit. I'm not sure if it's supposed to, or whether the standoffs are broken. Do we have to unscrew it? Oh look, it's quite rusty underneath. Oh, I thought we were going to get lucky. I did. So looking at this, looks like the case has to slide forwards. Doesn't look like it can slide backwards, or it has to go straight up. But I can't see any catches. Were they under? Were they under here? Or would you have to unscrew that screw? So these two screws obviously hold on the expansion port, but it's looking like this screw here and maybe this screw here hold on this back section, and then maybe there's catches underneath there, so let's try and do that. Screws are rusted, so I don't know if they're going to come out. Oh, it's coming out. That surprised me. There's one. Where was the other one? There it is. So there's no catches underneath, so I'm guessing there's some kind of slide involved. But it's not obvious. Aha. So the case has just slid forward a little bit. front is blocking it though, so maybe it isn't supposed to slide forwards. Interesting Apple case. I've not come across this design before. There's the front. It's come off. There's a crack here, but I think that's just. So here and here are two little catches that allow the front off. And again, everything that's metal inside has become rusted. So there's no DVD in this one. This is just a blanking plate. So LC does stand for low cost, so perhaps that shouldn't be a surprise. So then that slides forward, I think. Oh, now the side is sliding. It's kind of open, but kind of not. It now feels like it's there's something attaching in the middle. They wouldn't have put a screw in there, would they? If so, I'm obviously attacking this completely wrong. And is that supposed to move? Or is that just busted as well? So any normal person now would go and look this up online. Should we do that? Shall we? Or shall we just... I can't feel a hole underneath. Oh, maybe there is. I can't believe that this has never been taken apart. There's got to be an easy way of taking this. I'm not taking that screw out, if that is a screw. I've lost some kind of rubber bump, I'm afraid, along the way. So apologies to those Apple fanatics at home who are on the edge of their seats saying, stop! Oh good, there wasn't a screw there, so I didn't have to take it apart. Okay, so that still hasn't really resolved the issue because there's now a significant metal cage. I'm obviously doing this completely wrong, but let's carry on. So the side was sliding like that, and that's just popped off. So should I have been going in from the bottom? Why don't you put some comments down below and let me know what an idiot I'm being. Look at this. Yummy. Somebody's been eating well. Some spider's been eating lots of insects. Okay, so we've got metal on 4 sides now. So that doesn't make sense. Ah, but look. There is a sliding mechanism here. So it looks like this also comes out. But I presume I have to loosen these 2 screws first. All the screws seem to be the same size. That makes screw management much easier. Okay, so I think we're finally going to be in there. What do you reckon we're going to find? I think this PRAM battery hasn't exploded, but I think it's probably just leaked everywhere. That'd be my guess. Oh, there's a cable. That's a bit weird. So the ribbon cable for the floppy hoops through something in the roof. It looks like you have to take it out to get lid off. I'm definitely doing this wrong, aren't I? Okay, lovely. Let's get a bit of thing in here. So here we have an open top power supply. The LC475s had enclosed power supplies. So that's interesting. Fan looks okay. Spare lead there that goes to whatever would have gone in the expansion bay. I have to research what that would have been. There's a daughter card here with a ribbon cable going to it. So that's the video. So that's the video card. So the outside of the video card is corroded. The inside, can't tell. Need some better lights actually. So this all looks like there's a certain order to doing things. So I don't know what they are. So I'm maybe gonna stop soon, but let's have a quick look here. So the AV panel on the front is totally rusted. Buttons still actuate. Floppy drive doesn't look too bad, doesn't look rusty. And there's a speaker behind this grill here. There's a space here, I'm assuming the hard drive's under here. And then the big space here where the optical drive would have gone. Looks like there's some proprietary connector there maybe, that's always bad. Okay, so I've never heard of this LC630, but it seems very different from any other Mac I've disassembled from this period. Looking at the motherboard, spiders and spider web, lovely. It looks okay, but I can't see a PRAM battery. It's because it isn't one, is there? This is one of those ones that had the big chunky 4.5 volt thing, I think. So there's obviously a way of taking this apart. Do I carry on? Do I stop? I want to know if the... I want to see more of the motherboard because I want to know if there's a battery in here I need to take out. It's not moving very easily and I don't want to break the video circuitry. How am I going to find out what's going on underneath? So presumably this sled comes out somehow. Okay, let's take off the drive bay door. Again, same screw, that's nice. That does make things easier. So there's the drive bay door off. Is there anything behind it? There is. Okay, so we've got a standard Molex connector, a cable. I can't honestly say I can see whether that's ID or SCSI from this angle. But there is definitely some kind of sled that all these drives are on. that's got to come out, that grommet, if it does move. Disconnecting the main power. All of those contacts seem in good condition actually, so hopefully the power supply is working, assuming none of the caps have gone AWOL. Now this grommet doesn't want to come out, so maybe that isn't part of it. Let's take off this. So this was holding the ribbon cable for the floppy to the underside of the board. Just there, not quite sure why. Probably if I'd opened the case properly I would have known. So there's definitely some kind of sliding mechanism here for this part at least. It's not moving, so is there a screw somewhere that I haven't yet seen? Aha, aha. So you lift it up. So that's why that's suspended, so that you can take the front panel off and then take out a floppy drive without getting the cable snagged. So that's not bad, quite like that. You can take the hard drive out because it's back to front. So the connector is here on what we traditionally call the front of the computer, but is the back of the drive. So I've undone those. Does that slide out too? Does it lift? Lift and slide? Who knows? Is there a tab? I think it lifts. It's not wanting to come. I want to get to the motherboard, so I want to get this whole front piece off really. Okay, it was just supposed to be looking at all the individual pieces rather than trying to disassemble them, so I'm just going to stop there. I'm just going to get a torch and see if we can find this battery. From. Aha. There it is, hiding under that ribbon cable. It is one of those cubic type batteries. I can't see that it's leaking, but I can't see it very well. Are they velcroed? They are velcroed. Let's just get it out, just to be on the safe side. Doesn't look like it's leaked. Revac computer clock battery, 4.5 volts. Don't think that's a date code, is it? Unless it's 10 a week of 06, could be. It may explode. Okay, so oh look, there's a little bit of corrosion here on the terminal, so maybe that was about to go. Just as well we got that out. Okay, so the chassis and the board and everything else, apart from being dusty, is not corroded. We may have our first usable system. Yippee! Right, let's get this back together enough so we can look at another one. So the only thing that's corroded on this one is this front AV panel, which is quite badly corroded. I'm guessing that's the way the wind was blowing. There's a little bit of corrosion there at the back, on the back corner, just by that. Oh yeah, I'd forgotten all about this panel. That's a shame. The patina is quite pretty in this light, but pretty is not what we want. What we want is boring. So there's these 3 slots in top of the case and the 3 matching on the front, on the inside of the top. I won't put the sides back on. I will put these 2 bits of plastic back on though, so I don't lose them and break them. It's weird that that AV panel, that panel at the back has gone so rusty compared to everything else. A little bit strange. So you don't need to take this off to get the case off, which is probably what you were shouting at the screen earlier on. Sorry I couldn't hear you. Aha! Now, somewhere in the pile of stuff was a rectangular piece of plastic with a hole in it. So I'm guessing that's come off here. I'm guessing that's what that is. Right. So the front just clipped back on, didn't it? So the standoffs are actually in good condition. So yeah, I don't know where that comes from. We'll work it out later. Okay, that's not a good sign. Bit of leftover plastic. I've obviously missed something somewhere along the way. Okay. Let's have a quick tidy. So, I'm not particularly squeamish, but I don't like cleaning up other people's mess. Particularly when it's dead flies, dead spiders, fly poo. Okay, let's go to the next one.